Hi, so let's work into OpenArthurianX6. Last time we were working, we almost finished the projectiles, and the idea today is to finish that. So in the meantime, after I did the streaming, I managed to finish the directional projectiles. So what is remaining to do here is the rotating projectiles. So let's take a quick look at what we have right now. Okay. Hmm. Loading issues. Alright, seems like I left a placeholder or something somewhere and I forgot. Let's see if Git can give us a hint. So yeah, after we are done with the rotating projectiles, we are going to work on the ammunition, which is probably the last remaining part for the projectiles or for the range attack, at least for now. Um, So yeah, as you can see, I have some work in progress for the rotating projectiles, and it seems like I missed something somewhere. I forgot what's the I mean all the build system for Open Arthurian. We do have a gulp file, but it's not really very robust. So for example, I don't see any errors here. So it's weird that it's not starting up. Well, it did start up now. That was weird. Anyways, let's see. As you can see, we can move around. I'm going to increase the zoom a little bit so it looks better on the streaming. And let me show you the current status of the rotating projectiles. On arm myself with a magic axe, and it has a very limited range. So it's almost working, but it's like it's only rotating, I don't know, a couple times, and then it's static. So that part is here in the twin rotated projectile on the UI model. And I don't know why that's happening, because the idea here is that this is twinning the position, that's straightforward, and also twinning the rotation of the tile, and it's twinning from 0 radians to mat.pi plus 2 radians, so the whole circle, I guess, I hope. And it is said to repeat. Oh wait, uh, yeah, actually I think the problem here is that it is set to JoJo, but we do not need it to JoJo. We need it to repeat indefinitely. So it seems like I was falling asleep when I did this last time. So yeah, let's check. I'm almost sure that's the issue. So let's see. JoJo. So we're using the to method, but it's very similar to the from method. Property duration is auto start. So is auto start, repeat, and JoJo. Okay, so that was the issue. I just need to set a -1 here so that it repeats. Let's see if, okay, I stopped the watch, so I'm going to have to run it again, and I'm just going to do the build too, just to make sure that everything's working. Let's see, let's wait for it to build. It doesn't give any indication. Let's refresh here. Okay, and let's use the axe again, and it's still failing. I wonder if it picked up the change. I'm going to disable the cache here because there is still nothing to prevent cache issues. because really that should be it. Damn it. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. Let's do something. Let's stop this sculpt watch and just do the build manually. And actually what this build script does is well, it's taking more time. So it looks like it's actually doing something, because the other time it just finished too quickly. So if we see that script, what it does is just assemble like a whole package from the scenario data and then doing browserify. So that's like the cleanest way, but of course the gulp script that Camilo created, it does bundle an update for browserify, so that's the way that it's with the Watchify plugin, it's doing the watch. But anyways, let's see if doing this clean build we can get the desired behavior, and that's still not working. Alright, let's see. Oh, I think I know what happened. I hate it. Maybe, no, that was not it. I thought that maybe I had edited the assembly of, I mean, there's a copy of all modules because of the way that it's currently done, but no, that was not it. So we are back to, oh my god, I just want to make sure we are picking the updated module. It is the updated module. Oh my god. I guess this is something very stupid. So it is set to auto start and to repeat indefinitely. And to do this for 300 milliseconds. So that's how long the full circle or the full rotation should take. If you want to run it forever, set to -1. Yes, that's what I did. Let's review again the parameters. So we have the properties, the duration, the ease, auto start. Oh, damn it. The delay, and then whether we are going to repeat. So we need to set the delay to 0 here. That's probably it. Okay, now that's better. That's better, and we need to stop this because we are using the same icon for the UI and for the projectiles. That doesn't look bad, but that's not intended. So how to do that? We will need to have this spin twin here set as this, and then once we have reached the once the animation is finished, we will need to stop this twin. That should work, and we need to set back the rotation to 0, although I think that's also done whenever it's shown, but let's do it anyways. I'm going to reactivate the gold watch so we don't have to build every time. and just not very I don't think it works the first time, so I will run the build once and then roll the gold watch, and we will double check if the future changes are kept. It still hasn't built. Not yet. Now it's working. Let's test very quickly. That's better. So, alright. So let's commit this change, which is, let's see what it is. I think it's just for the rotation. I also did a small bit of logic here for the ammunition thing, but that's separate. Twin rotated projectile. Okay, and we included this here. So let's stage that. This was more of test data. So basically that's it. Let's rotating projectiles such as throwing axes. Okay, great, and let's patch this to the repo here. And let's continue with the ammunition. So basically the idea here, as you can see in this work in progress on the mob class, is that whenever you are doing a range attack, you need to check if you have ammunition. So range attacks are controlled here on the attack to position function. So if it is a range attack, it's going to see if we do have ammunition for it. And the way that it's working here is that if the weapon doesn't require ammunition, it's going to return itself as the ammunition, but we need to also remove it from the inventory because right now it is not. Now I think I will work first in this. This is like if the weapon requires ammunition, say for example a bow or a crossbow, then it's looking on the inventory to see if we have at least if we have an item of that ammunition type, and that is defined here in the items data, which right now is a JavaScript module, but in the future will be a JSON file or an external data source. So basically, as you can see, for example, this crossbow, this is an item definition, a crossbow, and it uses projectiles of type iron bolt, and we have a to-do here because we need to create the concept of a groups of ammunition types. So for example, bolts in general, because the idea is that the crossbow can fire any kind of bolt, not just iron bolts. We need to be able to add more types of bolts, and the crossbow should be able to use them, but that will come later. For now, what we need to do is that whenever you shoot your crossbow, we are going to reduce the quantity of iron bolts. So let's go back to using the crossbow. Right now, we are assigning the crossbow directly to the player or the weapon directly to the player here in this other data file. So basically, right now, Aiolo is our player and we are assigning the magic axe here. So let's go back to him having the crossbow instead, as Aiolo should. So I will revert this, and we will be back to use the crossbow if the gold watch is working, which I think it is. So let's just refresh this page. We don't have like a complete browser watch, I forgot the name, whatever refreshes the page when the build is refreshed or when the bundle is refreshed. So we do have a crossbow. It still doesn't show here because we still haven't done the UI to show the equipped items, just the inventory, and it seems like it's not working very well here. Well, it's, you can toggle the inventory screen with I. Probably should also allow using escape for that. So here you can pick up the items. I got the fish, got the bolts, and they show up here in the inventory. But right now we do not have support for stashes of items. So let's do this like one thing at a time. For now, let's just spend that bolt. So you will only be able to shoot once, right? I can target here. It's out of range because this is not, let's fix this data. Crossbows should be able to shoot much farther. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, let's, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's put a range of 8. 8 tiles. But yeah, in any case, if you shoot, as you can see, I can shoot as many times as I want because we still are not reducing the ammunition, the quantity of the ammunition. So let's go ahead and do that. As I say, this is done here right now. It's a to-do. There's a lot of to-dos. Spend ammunition. So right now we do have an list, an array rather, which is part of the mob, and it's the inventory. So basically, what I think we need to do here is, if we found something, then we should spend it, but that doesn't look very well for a get function. So maybe we should do that whenever it is used, because it can be used for different functions. So maybe a better place to do that is here. If we did have ammunition, if we found ammunition, then we need to remove that ammunition from the inventory. And the simplest way to do this will be a splice. And I think I will go for that. So that will basically be this dot inventory dot splice this dot inventory dot find no, index of, right, index of, and we will need to repeat this here. Let's do this like simple and ugly first, and then do it better or more cute. So index of that and 1. Yeah, I think that should work. Let's see if that works. So we are saving, and the watch triggers, we refresh here, and well, first off, this was already implemented. It's not going to let me attack if I don't have the ammunition. Let's pick up some ammunition. Let's use it here. I shot, and let's retry, and I have no ammunition. So that kind of works well. Now that's without stashes logic. And then if we use something like a throwing axe that doesn't use ammunition, well, we are going to lose the weapon because it's going to be removed from the inventory, and I guess that makes sense as long as we add the weapon into the terrain, right? So let's do that here. Let's move these to-dos because they don't really belong here. They belong more here whenever the ammunition is used. So we need another to-do here, and it is we need to add the ammunition into the world, right? And this is, I mean, this will not always happen because maybe the ammunition breaks, right? Or maybe it's some kind of ammunition that doesn't cannot be picked up again. So maybe there's a chance for it to be added into the world. Say if it's arrows, they may break. If they are bolts, like a metal bolts, they would be less likely to break, I guess. If they get stuck in the enemy, if they hit some enemy, then there may be a chance. In any case, for now, for simplicity, let's just assume that uh, an ammunition or a projectile can either disappear once used, like a bolt, or be added into the world, like a throwing axe. So I will go back to the mobs. Oh, it's not mobs. The data for the for the um for the party, which right now is not here. I forgot what it is. Source JS data. So it's on NPCs, right? And let's give this guy a magic axe again, just to illustrate the issue that I was mentioning. So if it works as I expect, we are going to only be able to launch or to throw the axe once, right? So let's see, let's throw the axe here. It's flying a bit slow, maybe I should speed that animation a little bit. And it did not work as I expected because it's always allowing you to attack. So it's not removing it from the inventory. And I think the problem here is that for this weapon, actually the axe is not currently on the inventory, because the inventory is like this that you have on your backpack or something. So it's not being removed from the equipped items. And since it doesn't require ammunition, because when if we check the items data, it doesn't have a use projectile type attribute. So it will, I mean, if we had like some kind of magic gun or something like that, that you could shoot indefinitely in a range, for a range, then it would make sense for it not to have any use projectile type and just allow infinite shooting with it. But this is not the case. So I think we need to somehow define that in the attributes for the item. Um, hmm. So let's see what would make more sense for it to be named. I don't know. I will just put this throwable for now. So what I'm going to do here is that if the ammunition that we got here is throwable, right? Wait, this is weird. How did this work? It doesn't make sense. This should not have worked unless we already had defined the ammunition type here. No, this is buggy. This is buggy. I am not sure how it worked for the crossbow case. Well, it's alright. It's already, since it doesn't find any of these, then it's returning -1, and its splice is taking like yeah, splice is like removing the last item on the array, I guess. Yeah, this is not good at all. Because what we need to put here is ammo.id. That will work better. Yeah, right now I did not save. So let's see, let's say I will go back to using the crossbow here. No, not here. Here. Let's go back to use the crossbow and let's refresh, but it hasn't loaded yet. So we need to be patient. More patience. And if we pick, for example, the bolt and the fish, and we shoot, and we cancel the shoot, and we check the inventory, we have a bolt and a fish. And then we shoot, it's going to probably spend the fish, right? Instead of the bolt. So if, let's do this change, this fix here, it should correctly spend the bolt instead. So we pick the bolt and the fish and we shoot and we check the inventory and it failed. It all again, it spent the fish instead. So I will have to look into the documentation for index of. Looks like it's also returning -1 for this case, which I did not really expect. AMO type. Yeah, let's do some debugging there. That's another thing, because of the way that it's currently building, I don't think it's using any source map. Well, but okay, it is using a source map. Oh, that's great. So let's check the mob class. Let's look for this to do, and let's see what's going on here. Let's refresh here. I hope it keeps the breakpoint. Let's pick the bolt and the fish and shoot and see what happens here. So right here, ammunition should be the bolt, right? And the ammunition ID is iron bolt. And this function, this dot inventory docs in index of, should return 0, but it's not. It's not returning 0, so I forgot. Let's check very quickly. Index of. Okay. So I don't know why I assumed that it was going to receive a function and look for that. Oh, well. Okay, I forgot this. There should be a different array function to do what I need, because the find one doesn't work. Find index, I think that was the name. Alright, yeah, find index is the name. Returns an index to the first element. Find index within the function. Yeah, that's what I was looking for instead of index of. And let's double check here. Instead of index of, we are going to use find index, and it's 0. That's better. Okay. So we are really safe. Let's refresh here. Let's get the bolt and the fish and shoot the bolt. Let's remove the breakpoint because everything is going to work now. Shooting the bolt, and we still had the fish. try to shoot the crossbow again and it doesn't work. Okay, good. Let me see if it makes sense. Well, yeah, it doesn't make sense to commit that change because that's what we are still working on. So add the ammunition into the world. Right. Then we were defining we want this to work for the axis, for example. So NPCs, let's use an X again. Okay. Wait. Let me see something. Oh, I still have the crossbow. Why? Because this is the assembly part, and I don't want that. I want the NPCs, but from the source directory, not from the assembly directory. And the items, so we were defining that something was throwable like this. So if something is throwable, so if the ammunition is throwable, then we need to add it back into the world. For now, let's not put like any rule for this, just let's always do it. So and I think it will make sense most of the time. We are doing games that are similar to Ultima 6, and as far as I remember, weapons did not break there. But I may be wrong. Not sure about arrows and other projectiles, but for example, throwing axes, I'm almost sure that they did not break. Anyway, if they do, then we could do that improvement later on. So if it's throwable, we need to add it into the world, and there's already some functions for that because we already implemented the drop command. Drop on direction. So we do have a add item thing here. So this will be something similar. We add the ammunition back into the world, and the place where we put it is wherever the attack is aiming to. One problem here is that this will not look very good if we do it there, because it will be better if we do it after we are done with the animation. So let's put that inside this promise chain. Okay, and yeah, that should work. Yeah, let's test it out. So we now have the magic axe, and we can throw it once, and it's now into the world. And as I mentioned, because of the inventory issue, I should actually be able to duplicate and create, well, almost there, because it's the same object, it's just changing positions, but that's not good, of course. We need to remove it from the player, right? Yeah, so right now it's like it's an attribute of the player. So if the ammunition is actually the weapon of the player, then the player no longer has a weapon. Okay. And yeah, that reminds me that we should really add something to the engine as quick as possible, or as soon as possible, and it's the persistence of the games, the save games, because if we don't do that quickly, then we will run into some serious issues in the future. Anyways, we throw the axe and we are no longer armed with anything, so we can only attack people that is very close to us. So that worked. If we pick the axe back, then we run into an issue because we don't have a command to use the items. That's something that Camilo did not implement. So, but yeah, I think um, that's something separate. So let's commit this change. What we did here is that we implemented spending an item, spending the ammunition only if it's a single item. I mean, right now, let's go back to the crossbow example. So if we go to the NPCs and set y'all back to using a crossbow, as it should always do, crossbow. And let's do something. Let's go to the level definition. I completely forgot what it is. I think right now it's on the level loader where we are. Yeah, of course in the future this will be part of the map editor or something where you can place the items on the level, but we are in the present, so that's still not there. So I added a separate vault just to show you that it's kind of working now, but uh, of course for things like ammunition you need stashes of items. So you can see we have the 2 iron bolts here. If I try to shoot, it will tell me that I don't have any ammunition. I am going to pick 1 iron bolt, 2 iron bolts. If I check the inventory, I have them as separate items. I will pick the fish. I will shoot the crossbow. It's going to spend 1 of my iron bolts. And I shoot again. And now I don't have any iron bolts. But the next step, what we are going to do next with this and the next session, is to add these stashes, so you can have like in a single inventory slot several different quantities of iron bolts. That will be next. So for now, let's commit this change. So what we did here was spending ammunition and dropping throwable weapons into the level. So we are going to need to actually commit this because of the throwable attribute. So let's commit this as well. These ones not yet needed to be committed. So spend ammunition items without stashing and drop throwable weapons into the level. Okay. All right. And I think that's it for today. So see you next time.